G'day ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to be doing something quite different this time around. I'm going to be doing an Australian food tier list. Now below I've got some of the most iconic Australian foods that I'm pretty sure most Aussies will know about, and I'm just going to be putting them up in a tier list and describing them a bit so that the foreigners out there who are unfamiliar with these kinds of foods will be able to sort of have a grasp on what I'm sort of talking about. So first up we got fairy bread. Now I'm going to have to put fairy bread into S tier. This is a very, very solid snack. Basically what fairy bread is, it's white bread, and you put a little bit of butter in it, and then you sprinkle some hundreds and thousands onto that butter and cut it up into little triangles, and then it turns out to be a really, really cool combination. You'd see these at like every primary school party, birthday parties, and by the time they were over, they were gone. So a very, very popular choice. The mix of the sweetness and the saltiness of the butter is like unmatched, and yeah, it's such an Australian classic as well. You see it a lot, but yeah, overall a really solid snack, and I'm going to put that into the S tier. Next up we got the Bunnings Snag. Now the Bunnings Snag I'm going to have to put into probably A tier. Now this might be a bit controversial, why I don't put it on par with fairy bread, but I'm going to put it into A tier just because it's not as unique or as creative, I think, as fairy bread. Fairy bread is sort of very out there sort of food, but a snag, all it is just a sausage in a white bread. Now there's nothing wrong with that. It's delicious and all, but I mean, this is pretty comparable to like hot dogs in the USA. Obviously it's a little different because we cook our snags on a barbecue, and then put them into white bread instead of a roll, and then we douse it in a little bit of sauce and all that. It's good because it's got some customizability, so you can put whatever you want on there. You can put tomato sauce, mustard, you can put caramelized onions, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and people literally like go to Bunnings just to get these things, and if not, you can cook them at home pretty easily as well. So the solid A tier for that food there. Next up we got Milo. I'm going to have to put Milo probably into the B tier. It is a really, really good snack. I wouldn't call it a snack, it's actually a drink, it's a powder. It's a good thing to start your mornings off, but it's nothing crazy. It's almost like a chocolate smoothie. I would say it's a bit better than a chocolate smoothie, and the good thing about this is you can have it hot, cold. You can even just chuck it into some milk and you can have it crunchy. And it'll still work. The taste is really nice, and yeah, in the morning it's the perfect sort of wake up breakfast, and a really solid choice. But it is loaded with sugar, obviously. That's why it's such a good breakfast choice. But yeah, I'm gonna put it into B tier. Probably not as good as a snag or a fairy bread, but definitely in the B tier. Next up we got Twisties. Now Twisties I'm gonna have to put also probably, I'm gonna put it in A tier, just because I know this is a really popular choice, and I know a lot of Aussies will prefer this over the Doritos. I personally do. We have a lot of cheese snacks here, but Twisties are one of the best, and honestly, on a good day, these beat Doritos easily. So I'm going to put them, yeah, on par with the snacks. You might even see these two together. You might even see all three of these together at like a party or something. And again, very popular choice. They also run out really quickly, so you better get onto them while you can. So definitely an A tier. Next up we got Shapes. Now Shapes I'm going to have to put into S+. Now there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, you can get them in a few flavors. I know that this one's the barbecue flavor, but you can get them in a variety of flavors, and I'm yet to meet someone who doesn't have like a favorite Shapes flavor. Like there's something tailored for everyone. There's literally no like bad shapes flavor, or they're either like fine or they're like really really good. So definitely an S plus, because these things, like, they're liked by everyone, and it's just almost impossible not to like these because there's a flavor for everyone. So definitely an S plus tier. Next up we got these sauces. I'm not really gonna consider these because I wouldn't call these Australian. I'm pretty sure other countries have these too, so I'm just gonna put them into the never tried category. Next up we got Vegemite. Now Vegemite is a mixed bag. Vegemite, for Australians, it's either going to be an S tier or it's going to be a straight up F tier. For me, it's an F tier for me personally, but I know a lot of Aussies love it, so I'm going to put it probably into the. I'll put it higher than Milo. Reason being that this is just a really like highly like debated sort of food. It's you either love it or hate it. Personally, I don't like this. This stuff can go burn in hell, but it is iconic. It is Australian, and a lot of Aussies love it because they like putting into their sandwiches and whatnot. But personally, I think this stuff is rubbish. Like, it's got a really strong taste, and if you're a foreigner, I would not recommend this. This is very much like an acquired taste. You need to sort of grow up with this stuff in order to like it. It's not really that good. If you're starting off, I recommend going for literally anything else if you want to try Aussie foods. But yeah, Vegemite, I'll give it a B tier just because of the credit that it gets. Next up we got Anzac biscuits. Now I'm going to have to put Anzac biscuits probably into S tier as well. Again, an Australian invention. They're made of oats, a bit of sugar, flour, all that kind of stuff, and then they bake it in the oven, and then these Anzac biscuits come out, and they get a bit of a boost in terms of ranking because of the history behind them. The soldiers during the First World War, they were sent these because they would last a really long time, and they were sweet and they were kind of nutritious. But now you see them around in your local Woolies or Coles, and they never fail to hit. Also, you can make them on your own, to your own liking, because I know some people who like them crunchy, I know some people who like them chewy. So yeah, you can have them however you see fit. So definitely an S tier for the Anzac biscuits. Next up we got the Golden Gay Time. Now the Golden Gay Time I'm going to have to put into probably high B. It's good, or maybe not above Milo, personally. It's good, probably only good for like a hot day, but they are quite nice. They have a good flavor, they're sweet, and they hit really well. But I know a lot of Aussies would rather go for something else, like other kinds of ice creams. You probably want like a regular ice cream over this, or even go to Macca's and get a sundae or something like that. They're good, but they're just not as good as like alternative options, if you know what I mean. So yeah, solid food, probably a B tier. Next up we got Allen's frog jellies. I'm gonna have to put these probably also in a B tier. They're really nice, but a really basic snack. I'm pretty sure many other countries have these sort of things, but I guess we just decided to make them into the shape of a frog. But they are like raspberry flavored jellies, and they're really, really nice. They're chewy, they're sweet, and you can stuff a whole bunch of these in your mouth, and you'll be satisfied. So yeah, again, a really solid snack. I'll put it above a Golden Gate Time, and they never fail to hit. They're really nice. You can have them often, also usually at parties and all that. But yeah, if you have a sweet tooth, definitely the way to go. Next up we got Frodo Frogs. Frodo Frogs I'm going to have to put into C tier, because all it really is just milk chocolate. Like, if you've ever had milk chocolate before, you know that it's basic. It's good, but it's pretty basic and pretty average compared to like everything else up here. I'd much rather have literally anything else up here than a Frodo Frog. I think the reason why the Frodo Frog makes it on here is because Frodo is an Australian creator character and all that, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, it's just milk chocolate, so nothing too crazy about it. So solid C tier. Next up we got chicken salt. Now I wasn't aware that this was Australian until only recently, so I'm gonna have to put this probably into A tier, because this is like you have to be wise with this sort of stuff. You have to put it on the right kind of food, and usually the right kind of food is like, you know, fish and chips. If you put that on your fish and chips, it turns out really nice, and it'd be a crime if you said that you didn't want chicken salt on your fish and chips, because they always ask you whether you want chicken salt or normal salt, and they always ask chicken salt. It's so much better. But yeah, and then normal salt is fine, but chicken salt just sort of has this flavor to it that's a lot nicer, but it's incredibly artificial and unhealthy. But yeah, good to have every now and then. Yeah, so solid A tier. Next up we got Tiny Teddies. Tiny Teddies I'm going to have to put into low B tier. Again, all they really are just like sweet biscuits, chocolate flavored. They have like vanilla flavored, and then cookies and cream sort of flavored. Oh wait, chocolate chip flavored. Sorry about that. You'd see them all the time on the playground. I don't know how many times I saw these bloody wrappers on the floor, and I had to pick them up and put them in the bin. But yeah, a solid snack overall. Definitely like popular among school kids. Maybe not as much anymore, but definitely popular when I was in school. And yeah, they're really iconic because they're called Tiny Teddies, as you can see. Because they're in the shape of little teddy bears, and yeah, they're really nice. They are really solid. So yeah, but I prefer to have probably all these other things over it. Next up we got the sausage roll. Sausage roll is going to have to go into A tier. A tier because personally, sausage rolls are not my go-to sort of hot meal. It's probably not as good as a Bunnings Snag, I want to say, but probably better than chicken salt, so I'll put it there. Reason being that it's just a really convenient meal. You can get it at your school canteen, or like a lot of like hot food bars sort of sell it as well, you know, at sports games and all that. And they never fail to hit. They're really nice, and I know a lot of my friends love it, probably more than I do, but yeah, really solid food, definitely up there in A tier. Wheat Bix, I'm going to have to give a C tier. Reason being that it is a breakfast choice, and pretty much it's just like a cereal. It's just like bran, I'm pretty sure, and you just chuck it into some milk. On its own, it's kind of boring and kind of tasteless. You need to add a bit of like honey or sultanas or fruit, or you know, like bananas or something, and yeah, it'll turn out a bit better. But other than that, it's a really like mid sort of food. I don't think it's meant to be tasty. Definitely not. It's meant to be like nutritious. It's meant to give you all that fiber and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, yeah, just pretty mid kind of food. I'm gonna have to give it a C tier. Next up, we've got the Woolies Mud Cake. I'm gonna have to put that into low A. Reason being that it's pretty iconic. You'd see them at a lot of children's birthday parties, even at primary school like parties as well. These were pretty popular, and yeah, they're really tasty. They are chocolate mud cakes, and if you have a sweet tooth, you're gonna love these things. They are very rich, which I think misses them out from being S tier. But they, you know, used to be cheap. I mean, I don't know about it now, but they used to be cheap, and yeah, they're pretty good. So yeah. Next up we got the Lamington. Now Lamingtons I'm gonna have to put into probably S tier, because just the coconutty and chocolatey like flavor, when they go together and combine, it's perfect. And the Lamington is able to pull it off like super well, like almost perfectly. So that's how I'm going to put them into S tier, because lamingtons are just beautiful. If you have a sweet tooth, you're going to love these things. If you love coconut, chocolate, all that sort of stuff, you're going to absolutely love them. I love them. I get that it's a bit of a mixed bag, but because of the coconut, but I love them, and I know a lot of people love them. So yeah, I'm going to put them into S tier. Next up, I'm going to have to put the meat pie into S+, being that it's also super iconic. And I'm yet to meet an Aussie who doesn't like meat pies, to be honest. Basically, it's just like minced meat inside of inside of a pie, I guess, inside a pastry. And then you can put some tomato sauce on it. And it turns out to be a really quick and easy lunch meal. You can get them frozen, or you can get them fresh at like cafes or bakeries. You can also get like Angus beef for like a higher price, but yeah, they're great. They're amazing. I have one in my freezer right now. Might have one later. But yeah, they're a super amazing pick. And if you're coming to Australia, you've got to try one of these. They're great. I don't think there's anything too similar to this anywhere else. But yeah, definitely up there in S+. Next up, we got Tim Tams. I'm gonna have to put this into S tier. They are like chocolate coated like wafers, I believe. I'm not too sure, but or chocolate coated like biscuits. And yeah, again, they're just really good. They're sweet. They're chocolatey. Way better than Freddy Frogs because they're a lot more interesting. I'm sure they're chocolate, but like it's a bit more than that. They got like that biscuit sort of taste. They got just the chocolate coating is really nice, and you can do what's called a Tim Tam slam, which is where you bite off the ends of a Tim Tam and then you use the Tim Tam to suck up some milk, and that's really nice. So definitely an S+, also a really popular party choice, and just a snack choice in general. So yeah, definitely S+. Wait, S tier, not S+. Next up, we got, what the hell was this? I'm not too sure what that is. I'm gonna have to put that into never tried because I'm not sure what that is. Next up, we got like Woolies charcoal chicken. Probably going to be a low B tier, just because sure, it's cheap and all, but I mean it's not really mind blowing in compared to anything in comparison to anything up here. All it is just roast chicken. But you can buy it from like the supermarket, like pre-made and all that. It's good. It's good if you're like on a budget, or if you have nothing to cook for the day. I definitely go for one of these because they're cheap, and you can feed the entire family for it. Yeah. Next up, what on earth is that? I'm not sure what this is. Is this like a? I'm guessing this is like Australian pork, yeah, or Australian beef. I'm not sure, but if it's Australian pork, I probably put it like an A tier. Australian pork's really nice. Roasted pork, it's really good, especially with some like potatoes or whatnot. Probably an A tier. If it's beef, probably also an A tier. Not gonna lie, so I'll put it among A tier, low A tier, because it's again not as unique, I feel, as some of the other choices, but it's definitely really solid and a lot healthier than all of these, that's for sure. So yeah, A tier. Next up, we got Jumpies. Okay, not gonna lie, Jumpies are they're not too bad, but there are 100 other things that you'd rather get, and I don't really see these things much anymore, which sort of shows that they're not really that amazing. So I'll probably put it into like high C tier, or maybe mid C tier. They're fine, but like there's 1,000 other better options that you'd rather get, and for way cheaper. Like sure, they were popular back in primary school because they're small and they're in the shape of little kangaroos, but other than that, I wouldn't call it much of an astonishing sort of snack. So yeah, definitely a solid mid C tier. But yeah, that's those are my rankings for some of these Australian foods. Let me know if you disagree. I'm sure a lot of you will. But yeah, if you have any questions about any of these foods for you Americans or wherever else you're from, yeah, be sure to let me know. But other than that, that's where I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope you all have an incredible day, and I will see you all in the next one.